Oh yeah, hey everyone, it's me Waddles. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the video, to this video. Today we're going to dive into an interesting 1.15 theory that I've had in mind for a while. So if you enjoyed this one, drop a like, subscribe, share your thoughts as always on what I'm saying down below, and remember, this is just a theory, not official news. Theory. So this 1.15 theory, well, I think the best place to begin is with 1.14. Minecraft 1.14 released on April 23rd, 2019, which honestly feels like a lifetime ago now at this point, but it's really only been about a month and a half. Alongside the release of the 1.14 update came many features. The 1.14 update delivered on pretty much all of its promises. As a matter of fact, if we're being honest, 1.14 brought even more than it initially promised. For example, the 1.14 update introduced plenty of new block variants and the introduction of a semi-new crafting system. In fact, the only thing that I can think of that was mentioned that I don't think ever came to fruition is that new shiny rendering engine. Now that's a lot more of a behind the scenes thing, so we'll just kind of leave that there. It is what it is. But we do have some interesting features that were mentioned at last year's Minecon, and we haven't seen anything about them since really Minecon, since September 29th or 30th, whatever it was last year. Now stick with me, but moving over into 1.15, or at least what people have talked about in terms of 1.15. I've seen a lot of hype in the community for a cave update or a combat update of some sort, and yes, I believe both of those ideas are absolutely amazing and totally are things that need to happen and be a thing. I would especially love some sort of cave update, seeing as the caves are kind of the same as they've always been since really as long as I've played the game. However, for 1.15, I kind of doubt it, guys. I don't think 1.15 would really be a cave update. If Mojang went the route of combat or cave update for 1.15, they'd probably want to talk about it. Where would they talk about it? Well, at Minecon. Minecon is still like 3 months away, or 4. It's at the end of September. So that would put 1.15 very far away. So due to the timetable, I sort of marked those things off of the books. Personally, I don't believe there will be a huge, massive, crazy, game-changing 1.15 update. I think something like that would be more likely to happen in the 1.16 update. Instead, I envision a smaller 1.15 update with some missing features that were talked about at Minecon last year and then sort of just not talked about whatsoever. And if you're smart, you may have already picked up on what those features are. Say hello to a somewhat revamped savanna biome and desert biome over here. Between these two biomes and the proposed features that were mentioned for them, we totally have enough content for a small update on par with the 1.11 or 1.12 update. The following proposed biome features were part of the Biome Chooser fan vote. The taiga biome won that fan vote, and so the taiga features made it into the 1.14 update. The desert and savanna biome lost the vote. However, it was stated that the losing features would make it into the game at a later date, eventually. So the content, what is it? Well, for the savanna biome, we have baobab trees, termites, and ostriches. And for the desert biome, we have palm trees and meerkats. If we're taking a guess about the 1.15 content theme, I believe the biome revamps for these two biomes would be a pretty good guess. First, let's take a look at the savanna that I've created here. Over here are the baobab trees. They're pretty much like a customized dark oak tree. I don't know. I tried. I don't think the acacia looks too good like this, so hopefully we get a brand new wood type introduced into the game. Then over here we can find some interesting ostriches. If you take a look, these are indeed ostriches. They're not chickens or anything like that. They're here, and I think it would be really cool if we could ride these things in 1.15 and just go miles across the desert, or the savannah. Pardon me. I don't know. I can only imagine how good it would feel to ride through the savannah on an ostrich, and this gray thing around my head blowing in the wind, and my green hair, and I think it would feel great. I don't believe we should be able to really steer ostriches like we can with horses. Instead, maybe something more like the pig with the carrot on the stick mechanic. That could be kind of cool. And then finally, the termites. Now, these are a little bit more difficult to show off because we don't really have anything in the game like them aside from silverfish and maybe endermites. I believe the termites would be a cross of the endermite and the silverfish. So a smaller creature, but a creature that burrows into blocks. Now, what happens when these creatures burrow into blocks or burrow into their mounds, something that looks kind of like that? Well, I have no clue. I have no clue whatsoever, and that's probably why I am not part of the Mojang team. I imagine an infested block would behave similar to how the infested stone blocks behave with, termites inside of them, and then you break the block, and then all of a sudden they're everywhere. But instead of stone, perhaps these savanna termites burrow into like wood or something. So that's the savanna biome features. Moving on over to the desert features, the palm tree and the meerkats. First off, meerkats. These are meerkats. They're not rabbits or anything like that. Meerkats. I believe meerkats would be in the desert and they'd kind of just be there. They wouldn't really do anything. I can't imagine them having much of a use other than maybe making tunnels around in the desert, and then we get these interesting little collapsed areas of sand. That could be kind of cool. But other than that, I don't know what a meerkat would do. They might just look kind of cool. The more interesting feature here would be the palm tree. So these are some mock-up palm trees that I made everywhere in the desert here. I think it would be cool to see a few different desert biomes, if you will. Maybe we have a more dry desert over here, like with just trees every once in a while. Maybe even some dead trees here and there, and then more of an oasis area of the desert. The oasis area would have a lot more palm trees, maybe even some small ponds, and maybe even some desert roses that are actually just poppies because we didn't have a desert rose mentioned as any kind of content feature. I think it could be neat to see palm trees growing coconuts as well, and coconuts would act as another source of milk, which in the 1.14 world isn't all that bad. Imagine you're wandering across the desert, you find a patrol, and you kill it, you have the bad omen effect. Well, that's a problem. But wait, you find a coconut, the bad omen effect is now not a problem. You drink the milk, you're good to go. Not too much to show, really, for the desert, just the idea of palm trees, coconuts, and some meerkats as well. Now, hopefully for both biomes, whenever we get these trees, they are brand new wood types. That is something that I would absolutely love to see. I did the palm trees in the desert with birch leaves and stripped spruce wood, and then over in the savanna, the baobab trees with acacia and dark oak leaves. One final thing to note in this video. The 2019 Minecon live date has been announced, and the fan vote seems to have been announced as well. It looks like we will have another biome chooser fan vote at this year's Minecon. Would it make sense to have two biomes on deck and then vote for even more? Probably not. I think that would be a little weird to just completely ignore the savanna and desert. Would the savanna and desert biomes be up for a vote again? Also, probably not. That would be pretty lame. There wouldn't be any new features to hype up or anything like that. So I'd say it's a pretty good guess to say 1.15 has these two features and comes, hopefully, before Minecon this year. But, I don't know. That's just a theory. What do you think? Do you think 1.15 could hold these two features, or do you imagine this content being in a 1.14 point something update? If 1.15 doesn't have this stuff, what do you think it would have? I hope you enjoyed this style of video. It's very different from what I normally do. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you love what I do, become a channel member or a patron today. There are links to both of those things down in the description below. You should also check out my Twitter, my Instagram, lots of memes over there, and yeah, go have a good day. Thanks for watching. My name is Waddles. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.